French environmentalists targeted sites near Toulouse, calling golf the leisure industry of the most privileged. Climate activists fill golf holes with cement after water ban exemption. Biased take, this is better than impeding traffic. You're right, it is. Like, this is absolutely way better than impeding traffic. You are completely right. You have people doing this, and eventually, if this becomes popular, the golf courses will find a way to defend themselves against this problem. And I can guarantee you that eventually, one form of that defense will result in some form of harm coming to these environmentalists. Mines, bear traps, pit bulls, you know, like a sniper tower, I don't know. But they'll figure something out, right? And this goes back to what I said whenever we talked about it the first time. You are not Batman. And if you think that you are Batman, don't be surprised whenever somebody else turns into Bane, or somebody turns into the Joker, or the Penguin. Because that's what happens. You can't go around and break the law and destroy people's property and fuck it up just because you personally disagree with what they're doing. If that was the case, the entire world would be chaos. You can't have this happen. It's just crazy. Then I realized the pin placements, no, this will take them probably like 20 minutes to fix. It's not even a big deal. You just dig the concrete up, refill the hole, it's done in like 20 minutes. Fuck their golf courses? Well, what happens whenever the people that you're saying fuck their golf courses decide to say fuck you or whatever your thing is? Like, what happens whenever that happens? They won't, they will. Why wouldn't they? Because whenever you do something that is against the law as a form of protest, and you are destroying another person's property, you cannot expect that person to sit there and take it. This is an outrageous sense of entitlement that I can't even believe I have to explain. You cannot expect a person to sit there and let you destroy their property and do these things with no repercussions. And whenever those repercussions come, don't cry to me. There is no way that you can do this and have it have anything other than a bad ending. I'll read a few comments about this. Everyone followed the law all the time. Women wouldn't have the ability to vote. Black people would still be slaves. Not all laws are ethical. Well, you have to remember that women didn't, like, yes, obviously there were protests that happened, but with a lot of things, like, these were laws that were changed. Laws were changed in order to make people not slaves. This is an amendment in the Constitution. Like, the reason why women can vote is because there is a law saying that they can vote. You can change things, but whenever you destroy other people's property and you destroy other people's stuff in order to get that change, you are no longer the person who is in the right. There are a lot of people out there who, this is what I think. I think that we live in an incredibly safe society. I think that we live in the greatest time in human history by far, and it's getting better every single day. And the only reason why people say it's not is because they willfully engage and indulge in things that are bad for them. Like, life is so good now. And I think that people are looking for a struggle. People are looking for a cross to nail themselves up to. And it's harder to find them nowadays. Back in the day, it was easy to fight against oppression because there is some foreign government that's controlling your country, that's controlled by a warlord. Or there's some massive social issue that you have to deal with, like slavery, for example, or like women voting and other stuff like that, civil rights. Nowadays, these problems exist, but they're so much less than what they used to be. There are no longer these massive, insurmountable, human, like, massive differences and huge power imbalances that existed in, back in the day. There's still huge wealth inequality. What does somebody else's money have to do with you? I'm not comparing your money versus somebody else's money. I'm comparing how much money a person is making versus, what they had before. It doesn't have anything to do with you. What I'm saying is that the general quality of life has gone up tremendously. It has gone up in a massive way. And you are naive to believe otherwise. You are insane to believe otherwise. They hate people with wealth so much. Absolutely. Because people are so focused on what other people have that they're not even able to realize the fact that what they have now and what you have access to now is more than any other time in the entire history of the world. You're comparing yourself to other people. I'm comparing you to what you would have been 50 years ago, or what you would have been 100 years ago, or 200 years ago. Can it get better? Yes, it can get better. But the truth is that it is better now than it has ever been. And I think that people are constantly looking for a cross to nail themselves up to because they feel like their life has no purpose and no meaning. So they go and they glue their hands to precious art. They fill up golf holes with cement and they stand in the road because there's no gigantic, evil, oppressive regime like Hitler out there for them to go fight against to make them feel like their life has any value. That's what I fucking think. And I'm talking about people in the U.S. If you're in Palestine, I think that it makes a lot of sense that you feel that way. Absolutely. And you still do have an immediate big problem. However, I'm talking about people in first world countries. Bro, look at life expectancy of U.S. citizens in the last 2 decades. The life expectancy of U.S. citizens has gone down. That's what you're going to show me and you're going to say. Why has it gone down? I'll tell you why it's gone down. It's because people are fat and they're eating food that kills them. That's why. All of the resources are available and readily accessible. If you go down and you ask 50 fat people, what are healthy foods and what are unhealthy foods, they're going to tell you pretty much the same thing. Yeah, you might have a few dipshits out there, but for the most part, they're all going to say burgers are bad and salads are good. Does that stop them from eating burgers? No. So how is this a problem with society whenever a person is willfully engaging in something that hurts them? You're asking surface level questions for something that goes far deeper? No. You're trying to make something go far deeper that's actually very surface level. A person is engaging and indulging in something that's bad for them, and then they blame the world for why they're doing it. That's the fundamental reason why it's happening. It's nobody else's fault. It's not society. It's not anything else. No, society isn't making you eat McDonald's. Society isn't making you do these things that are massively unhealthy. You're doing these to yourself. You're a sheltered streamer. Shut the fuck up. All right. Let's pull them up. Let's pull them up. Okay. Explain what I said that was wrong. A lot of people get upset that I'm saying this because they feel like they're being talked down to because I'm in a successful place in my life right now. Here's the thing that you don't want to accept. You can be right about everything that you think about me and everything that you say about me. I'm a sheltered streamer. I've never lived a day in your life. I have no idea what I'm talking about. This is just a millionaire POV. And you can say all of those things. You can say I'm delusional. I should play video games. And you can be right about every single one of those things. And it still doesn't make me wrong. And I'm still right. And that's why you're mad. Again, people are attacking my perspective because they can't attack my argument. They're attacking me as a person. It's completely fine. Like, this is what dumb people do. You can't expect, you're not going to reason a dumb person into being smart. It's just not going to happen. You think making fast food cheaper than healthy food is irrelevant whenever it comes to individuals choosing what they eat on a daily? It's not cheaper. Fast food isn't cheaper than healthy food. That's not even true. What are you talking about? Like, it's just like, it's like these things, like these people, like, have you ever been to a store? Holy shit, it is? No, it's not. No, it's not. I went to fucking, all right, think about this. You buy a bag of rice. How many meals do you get out of a bag of rice? Probably a lot, right? I would assume a lot. Yeah, a lot of meals. And how much is a bag of rice? It's probably like what? $5, something like that. Yes, about $5. If you actually look at the amount of ingredients that go into making this kind of food, and if you make your own food that's healthy, it will be cheaper than buying fast food. The truth is, people want to put zero effort into... Listen, every single person that I know that says this kind of stuff, and I actually have a window into their life, and I understand like kind of where they're coming from, These people are just indulgent. They're indulgent and they're lazy. That's all it comes down to. This person just never really responded. I'm just gonna ban them. It took forever. For one meal, maybe it's not cheaper, but you get more for your money buying healthy ingredients with a fast food meal. Exactly. Fast food has always been expensive. Just these entitled children didn't realize how much of their parents' money they were taking going to these places. Yeah, I went to Dairy Queen yesterday, and it was like, I mean, I'm not even kidding. It was a huge amount of money. They're indulging because they don't have coping mechanisms. Fast food is addicting because of the feel-good hormones that it makes the brain release. Okay, so they're addicted to fast food and it's because of their brain and they just can't do anything. Okay, well then hopefully, just keep eating fast food, weed yourself out of the gene pool, and then hopefully somebody else will replace you that's not that stupid. Because that's what's going to happen. You eat fast food constantly, you're going to get fat, you're going to die early, and then you're going to be gone. That's what happens. You go to a nursing home full of a bunch of 90-year-old people. None of them are fat. Do you know why? Because the fat ones are dead. So you can blame everything else on the world or whatever, but there's plenty of people that are skinny. Anyway, the point is that you cannot break the law and destroy other people's private property in order to get your point across. This will never turn out well, and whenever the people in the golf courses start defending themselves, don't cry to me. They can and they did. Well, what happens, for example, like let's say somebody does this and they get hurt on the golf course. You know, the person, or somebody sicks a dog on them. Like, should you not be able to defend your property? Well, I think you should. So my perspective is this. If people are coming on to a person's property and destroying it intentionally, I think the people that own that property should have every ability to defend themselves with whatever means they determine necessary. And if you think they're not going to do that, you are naive. It's very easy for people like this to say that whenever it's not their property being destroyed. It's very easy for you to say, oh, well, fuck people in golf courses. I don't like golf courses, and it's just rich people, so it doesn't matter. Well, what if somebody just decides you're the problem? What if somebody decides that, like, where you live used to be, like an Indian or Native American, like a settlement or something like that, and they decide to burn down your house because there shouldn't be people living there? Everybody has people are always trying to justify bad behavior, but whenever it happens to them, I guarantee you they're going to be wanting justice for it. And it's easy for them to say that it's okay for it to happen to these people, because they feel like these people are part of the other group. And like also people with having their car destroyed or something like that. A lot of people had their cars destroyed during like BLM protests. I saw like hundreds of cars destroyed. And these are just private citizens. It sounds like their mentality is rules for thee and not for me. That's what the rules always are. That is always what the rules are, gentlemen. It is people that are, have you heard of the Boston Tea Party? This is probably the stupidest argument that I hear about this. And I'm going to explain why it's stupid. Because the Boston Tea Party was a reaction to a monarchy. They didn't have a representative government that they elected to choose to make changes. So whenever you say that the Boston Tea Party was necessary, I agree with you. Because they were revolting against a monarchy. We have, at least in the US, a representative democracy. That means that you can vote, and if enough people vote for something, it can happen. That's how Trump became president. So it was actual tyranny. You don't get to just simply ignore the rules. You don't get to just ignore, oh, well, you know what? I'm aggrieved enough, so I think I have the moral authority to go beyond the law and destroy other people's private property because I have the moral justification for it. Imagine what would happen if everybody thought like that. Do you understand what the difference is? Good points? Yes, okay. I have no problem with people protesting, but whenever you destroy another person's property in order to protest, you stop you stop being a protester and you are now a criminal. Just because you want to protest something does not give you the moral authority to destroy other people's property. This is not how it works. And I guarantee you that all the people that say, oh, it's necessary, would not feel that way if it was their car, their house, or their yard. That's what insurance is for? The way that insurance companies get money is each insurance company has a ferry, and the ferry for the insurance company magically creates more money, and that's how they pay off all of the insurance claims. So that's a good point. We're not a society built on that, Yud. You're arguing a point of view that doesn't exist in reality outside of a percentage of people. You do not have the right to violently attack and retribution, and you don't have the right to destroy property, but sending a message without harming a person in any way is legitimate still to this day. Okay, let me explain something to you, because this is probably something that's very hard for people like this to understand, because they have main character syndrome, and they think that property doesn't matter. Whenever you destroy a person's property, you hurt them. If somebody burns down your car, that car is also a representation of your assets and your resources. And whenever you lose that car, and you're not able to have that car, now you need another car. So property is not like just this thing that doesn't matter. A property is a representation of a person's work and life. They've put, in some cases, years of their life into making this property what it is. And if you destroy that, you hurt them. So the idea that, oh, well, just because I'm destroying property, nothing bad can happen to me. You're stealing their time. Yeah, this is their time they invested. And this is time out of their life. Property matters, but you're not physically hurting them. There are laws to cover these things. Well, it doesn't matter if it's against the law, because your car is still burned down. Morally, you're arguing it's wrong in your view and many other things, but to say it's not an effective cause is wrong. Well, I don't know. I mean, is it an effective cause? I'm pretty sure it's not. Like, I would say that the amount of environmentalists that have destroyed, like, fine art and stuff like that in order to, you know, make a point, I think that it's been incredibly unproductive, and I think that it's made them look really bad. And this is the point that I'm making, is that the people that are doing this think that they're fighting against an oppressive regime because a golf course can have water. This is not an oppressive regime that is bad enough to warrant you going and destroying property. This is insane. People are they want so hard to be oppressed. Please fucking oppress me. Please give me a reason why my life is bad, and so I can have a justification to act like a fucking animal. Read this here. Property matters. Of course property matters. Property, if you destroy somebody's property, you are stealing their time, and their time is an accumulation of their life. Here's the truth. The people that are okay with destroying property don't care about that. They just want to do what they want to do, and it doesn't matter to them whether they hurt anybody or not. It doesn't make a difference. They're just looking for a justification. This is the thing about oppression. It's a waste of water in a country that's experiencing droughts more and more often. So then change the law. Like, there's somebody that allowed them to do this. You change the law. You don't just get to destroy things because you don't like it. If everybody did that, everything would be destroyed. You can't live in a society where, because you personally disagree with a rule, you can just destroy everything because you don't like it. Imagine what would happen if the world worked that way. Change the law? Yes, you contact your local representatives and you make a change. That's right. That's what you have to do. I know, it's hard. It's a lot harder than changing your profile picture to a flag. It is way fucking harder, guys. But it will work. If enough people do it, it will work. Everybody wants to be a revolutionary so bad. People want to, they want so bad to be oppressed because a golf course has water. Holy fuck. Get mad at the people that let them do that. Not the golf course. I understand private properties, you're right, but the reason why they're doing it is it's not because they don't like it. It's that rich people from the golf course don't have to pay water taxes, and that doesn't make any sense. Everyone should pay it. I completely agree with you, so then why not change the law? I don't understand. So you can change the law. Why not just go change the law? Those lawmakers didn't get put up there by nobody. They got put up there by you because you voted for them. Like, it's insane that people can't see the cause and effect relationship this has. It's actually so funny to me that people are getting mad about this. God, people are so fucking stupid. How are you guys so dumb? This is insane. What is wrong with you guys? And I know that a lot of people in chat completely, like, how many of you guys hear what I'm saying and you're like, yes, obviously. Yes, obviously this is true. The people that are getting mad about this are idiots. Yes, there's a lot of people. I think the vast majority, and I want to make sure this is very clear. There is a vast majority of people here that are not delusional idiots. But there is a small subset of people who think that they think they're revolutionaries. They think they can just destroy things because they have the moral authority to do it. It's crazy. We're not dumb, we just disagree. Well, you disagree because you're dumb. And yes, you are stupid for thinking this. You are completely a fucking moron. Like, again, I think that these people are just like, they're unable to see anything outside of their own perspective. And because they have such a limited point of view on things, they're not able to see it from the perspective of another person who could be affected by it and how they would feel. And how that person's values would change because of that. They're literally not able to have any sense of worldview outside of their own limited worldview. Is it that black and white? It is. I think you're misrepresenting the ability of average people to change the laws, even if there are many of them. Otherwise, there would be more anti-gun laws in place in the U.S. by now. I think that's also because of the Constitution, which is a little bit different. I think it's kind of a specific thing, because like Bill of Rights, Constitution. But I actually think that a lot of people want to have a gun. I think that a lot of people in the U.S. want to be able to have a gun for self-defense. Willful ignorance. It's not that people are willfully ignorant. It's because people have... It's you that can't see anything from another perspective. You never back down, only double down. Well, it's because I'm right. Why would I look at another perspective? You don't understand that they can't change the law. Okay. Well, let's work backwards here. Who does change the law? Who does change the law? Let's figure this out. Because we're going to go on an investigation here. Everything's vandalizing private property is a legitimate form of protesting is totally unhinged. Well, it's not that they're totally unhinged. Well, it is. But it's also because it's never their property that's getting destroyed. If it was their property that was getting destroyed, they wouldn't think that. It's a completely self-serving notion. There's like, if this happened to them, if this was happening to like their family or somebody they cared about, they would be furious and they would want the government to intervene immediately. But the reason why they think it's okay is because they label a group of people as bad, and because of the label of bad, well, then it's acceptable to basically take their rights away. They don't have a right to property because we can just destroy it because we feel like it. That's what happens. It's not wasting the country's water to those proportions, though. How can you equate those two things? It's not up to you to decide. Oh, it is up to you to decide that. But if the government says that and they say it's okay, then why can't you just vote for people to change it if you're not happy with it? Why is this impossible for you to do? He roached out? Did he really? Oh my God. If you can't vote the law change, vote the people out. That's how it works. It is. That's exactly how it works. Look at this person. Look at this. Look how mad he is. Oh my God. The funny thing about this is I bet there's probably only like 8 people in chat that are disagreeing, but they're just spamming the same message over and over and over. And so I think it's like 100 of them. What happens if all the politicians are owned because there's money in elections? Well, why can't you just vote for somebody that's not going to take money? I don't understand. Why, if there are a lot of people that get together and they pool resources together to vote for somebody, why can't they just vote that person in? Because the people are stupid. Exactly. There it is. Alpha, you just refuse to acknowledge how huge the power imbalance is? Money in politics pushes everything. Would you recommend look up the video? Corruption is legal in America? I completely agree with you that things are massively corrupt. But the way to solve that isn't by pouring concrete in golf courses. This will never solve the problem. You're not doing anything. You're wasting your time. It's like jerking off. It does nothing, right? It's like, oh yeah, I feel so good. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, we really did it. Nobody gives a fuck. They're just gonna fix it in 20 minutes. When someone that's directly under a politician, your takes are accurate and based. Well, of course they are. And the reality is that if more people realized what my viewpoint is, and they saw it the way that it is, then these things wouldn't happen in the first place. The reason why these things are happening is because you have these morons that change their profile picture to a flag, or they put flags in their name on Twitter, or they use hashtags to talk about the latest global tragedy, and these people don't vote for anything. They don't get together. They don't take collective action. They don't do anything. And whenever they do, it's some stupid little fucking, basically attention-seeking ploy to make themselves feel better about their life. Basically, your stance is there's not enough citizens being proactive enough with checking their representatives. That is exactly what my position is. My position is that I guarantee you, if the person who did this got 1 million phone calls the day after this happened, and these golf courses got the okay to keep watering during a water ban, and people started calling nonstop into the office and saying, we're going to vote you out right now, and we're going to call like a special election, and we're going to do everything that we can to get rid of you, you're not going to get elected again, I guarantee you, by that night, the golf courses wouldn't be using that water. And that's a fucking fact. Because people do have the power. You actually are the last say. Lobbying does matter, but the only reason it matters is because the people don't care about it. If the people actually cared about lobbying, there's no reason why everybody can't collectively say together, we're not going to vote for people that take money from lobbyists, other than them being stupid and lazy and apathetic. And that's the reason. And it all comes down to apathy. That phone calls are scary, yes. It's not how it works outside of America. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care how it works outside of America. It doesn't matter to me. And I'll go ahead and I'll read the thing about this. The Boston Tea Party was in response to legislation passed by the British without representation of the colonies. The activists have representation, they just don't like it, in which case they should advocate for the people to make a change, not destroy shit. That's exactly what I think. And again, I think that now people live in such a safe and great society that they approach levels of like not having any level of self-fulfillment. So they attach themselves to doing little meaningless activities like this to make themselves feel like their life is meaningful and has value. People are constantly trying to fight some sort of a war, fight some sort of a problem, like overcome some sort of oppression or something like that. I think it's a core, it gives people like it gives people a sense of purpose, right? And people don't have that purpose, so they're looking for like these little micro issues to go apeshit over. I think the people that do this are stupid, and I think that the more they do this, eventually somebody is going to react negatively, and whenever that happens, I won't feel bad. That's what I think.